Hi, my name is Maria. I'm an aged carer out Northern Way, which is about 100 k's east of Perth. I started my photography journey about 2 years ago, just doing landscapes and astrophotography, and that kind of helped me learn all the controls of a camera. About a year and a half through that, I decided to start my own business and set myself the challenge to begin wedding photography, but I wasn't quite sure how to do that, which is how I contacted David from Perth Photography. This course really gave me the confidence to communicate and work with clients. So I started photography about 2 years ago, just doing landscapes and astrophotography as a complete beginner, and that's how I kind of learnt the basics. And about a year and a half into that, I decided to start my own business, doing engagements and weddings, and that was great, but I didn't exactly know how to put myself out there. And so my biggest struggle was actually finding clients and also finding kind of the background and stepping stones to find clients and kind of attract the people that I wanted. So I found David Chong online, and I sent him an email, not expecting to hear, not knowing what to expect. And he emailed me back asking to meet, and that's when I met him, and we discussed how to get my business going, all things marketing, how I'm going to build my portfolio so that I can attract those clients. So it began with a consultation, and we kind of identified where I needed work and what I needed to improve on and how we were going to get there. And he invited me to second shoot at a few of the weddings that were coming up that he was going to shoot for. And through that, that's where I worked with him to get the practical experience I needed for any future weddings that I might want to do. And through that also, I was able to get my the beginning of my portfolio, learn the practical side of wedding, what to look out for, what I needed to be aware of. And his course also helped me jumpstart my business and fast track it. So what took about 12 weeks with him probably would have taken me a year or two to complete if I had done everything by myself. So David's course is a 12-week program for me focusing on weddings. And it began with like a consultations of my goals, where I was at and where I needed to be. He really tailored the program to me. So he identified my strengths and weaknesses. He viewed my photos, found out where I needed to improve and what I needed to do to build my business. And from there he had set steps for me he had set like little goals for me between meetings. So for example, he would ask me to look online and find photos that inspired me, do lots of research and build my social media first. And then from there he took me on a few weddings that he had booked so that I could learn the practical side of weddings, and there he really assisted me with posing, directing clients. He helped me with this, learn the structure of a wedding, what to look out for, who to talk to, and how to utilize my camera better and find the equipment that I needed to actually do weddings. And then from there we would review the photos, find out what my weaknesses were and what my strengths were as well, and then find things for improvement so that I could and learn what I needed to take into account for the next wedding that we did together. And he did it in a way that wasn't too overwhelming, so he nudged me in the right direction and only gave me what I could handle at the time. So if I wasn't ready for something, he wouldn't push that until later on, which is why him tailoring the course was really helpful. And that also gave me the confidence to work with clients a bit better, because I knew that I wasn't pressured and stressed, and I could do everything in my own time. He also helped me with the marketing and business side, business and marketing side of everything. And I didn't realise the importance of that until I'd met him. So that was really handy. And he told me how to utilise things like social media, Google, to help me attract clients. And that's how, as soon as I followed his steps, I got my first inquiry 5 weeks into the program, which was amazing. But what have I achieved since starting this course? I now get inquiries weekly. I've got 3 weddings booked, and I've done a handful of engagement shoots. The first wedding inquiry was within the first 5 weeks. I had booked my first wedding by the end of the 12 weeks, and I'd had inquiries, a lot of inquiries, more than I would have thought I would have had by the end of maybe like 10 weeks. I would recommend this course to anyone who wants to start their business but doesn't know how, or they've started their business and they've reached a plateau and don't know the next steps, or anyone who wants to fast track their business, because, yeah, like I said, what's taken me 12 weeks would have taken me, I can guarantee, a couple of years for me to do. Yeah, and for me to learn myself, and it's a lot easier having someone to call over the phone or meet in person. You don't have to make all the mistakes that you would have made if you had done it yourself. And also, I wouldn't have had as much confidence in my business if I hadn't have done this course with him. I would have probably stumbled through the first 2 years. So what I liked the best about his course was that it wasn't overwhelming. He did it in a way where he would give me the first few steps, but he wouldn't give me he wouldn't overwhelm me with an entire course within 2 weeks. He would tell me what I needed to know at that point in time and what I needed to achieve, and then once I had achieved that, he would give me the next steps. I also like the fact that he's very flexible, so that was very handy living so far out of Perth. He was handy, we didn't have to meet face to face, we could meet over Skype or over phone. We could meet at a cafe, or it was very flexible in that sense. And another thing that I liked about his course was the fact that even after 2 weeks, he's done his course in a way that I can continue my own development and take what he has taught me in 12 weeks and use that to build more into my business. So I feel like it's more than a 12-week course. The value of it is more than 12 weeks because he's given me the tools that I need to continue after his course. And the fact that he's always available over the phone if I need quick advice is really reassuring as well. And through that, I've obviously gotten paid jobs through him as well, just through him and his contacts, and So David has assisted me in learning how to process a client from start to finish, from the consultation all the way to giving the final product. He's taught me how to use the tools, the programs, the softwares. He's given me examples of who to use for products that clients might want. And just basically the whole structure of how to professionally take on a client, continue communication with them, and provide the products that they might want through trusted sites, all the way to their wedding, and finding out what they want through that wedding, and what they want their final product to be, and all the way to the prints and the albums, and so while I was doing David's course, I was also taking on a full-time job, and that's why his flexibility was so important, was so that his course would not interfere with my commitments at home. We would organise a time, for instance, after work, or during the weekend when I had time, and that was very handy. So I was when I first got my first inquiry, I was very overwhelmed. I didn't expect it to happen so soon, which is a good thing. But he really talked me through the process, and really reassured me and helped me through that inquiry. When I got my first wedding, I was very excited, and I felt confident that I could communicate with this client, and I knew that I had the ability to go through the whole structure with them, and just through this course, he's really given me the confidence to go through with clients, and communicate effectively with them, and provide them with what they need and what they want with their wedding, and to be able to know that after the 12 weeks I can continue doing this job, and eventually I can kind of see now that in the future I can eventually start cutting down my hours at my full-time job and take on more of what I want to do, which is wedding photography. It's the best feeling ever. So even after the 12 weeks, David has made the effort to check on me from time to time and catch up on my progress. So the value of it is much more than just 12 weeks, and it's not as if 12 weeks goes by and that's it. He's contacted me over the phone, made sure that I'm on track. He's nudged me in the right direction, made sure that I'm happy with everything, and answered any questions that I've wanted to ask, given me advice. He's really continued past the 12 weeks and made the extra effort, which is really reassuring. And it's definitely made it worthwhile. So from my experience with this 12-week course, I've learned that how important it is to have the education first rather than all the fancy equipment and tools, because tools and all the fancy cameras can only take you so far if you don't have the knowledge and experience to back you up. The equipment's not the important part, it's the knowledge on how to market yourself, actually get the clients that you need, and learn how to develop your business in a way that you will keep getting clients and you will keep building your goals. Without that education or help from David, I don't think I would have gotten that far without with the equipment that I have. I needed to really learn all that stuff first before I really ventured into my business and continued on with where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I just want to thank David for giving me the opportunity to do his 12-week course and finding the potential in me. And yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gotten this far without him.